This is the unapologetic, brash, and brazen, where I will never be mistaken to give you the hottest, the latest, the greatest, the newest, the most definitive, the most defiant. We got some bad news. We got some sad news. We got some positive news. We got the news that will make you be insured. The news that will not bore you, but we will store you with it. The significance, the defiance, Sean's View Entertainment does not regret to inform you of the following information and what has become an institution here on Sean's View Entertainment. Now, we all know that TNA Genesis is going on right now. The results, the highlights, the key moments. We got Mike Santana. We got Frankie Kazarian in a Texas death match for the TNA World's Heavyweight Championship. It is on the line. But right at the beginning of the video, right at the start of the video, details are emerging. Elena Black, formerly known to WWE as Cora Jade, is officially back in the game of TNA, not the WWE, and now she's a full-time knockout in TNA wrestling. Following her surprise appearance on the January 15th episode of TNA Impact, Black has signed a one-year contract with TNA, locking her in through the end of 2026. The signing marks her return to wrestling after stepping away from the ring for 6 months. Elena is scheduled to be a full-on member of the TNA roster after stepping away from wrestling 6 months prior. She is signed to a one-year deal contract that goes through the 2026 year, Fightful has reported. Also, we got some breaking news as it concerns Jade Cargill. We got breaking news on the future and the fate of Kevin Owens. And we have more explosive updates on WWE Backstage. First off, breaking news on the WWE Women's Champion, Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill might not be in trouble with the WWE officials. She may not be in hot water despite initial rumors, gossips, and speculation, but that doesn't mean that people aren't talking behind the scenes about her. After a string of injuries, including B-Fab, Mitchin, and Tiffany Stratton at the hands of the WWE Women's Champion, Jade Cargill, all following matches with the current WWE Women's Champion, Fightful is reporting that Cargill's name is absolutely coming up in the locker room conversation. There is a bullseye on her. She is being watched closely. While no official blame has been placed on Cargill by WWE producers or management, the growing number of injuries has quietly raised concerns among fellow superstars, performers, and backstage personnel. Well, Tiffany hasn't wrestled since a match with her as well, but I want to make it clear, I don't know if it was specifically spots with that Jade did or negligence on her part. I don't have that information to begin, but it was certainly discussed among talent and has been discussed among talent. He confirmed that this trend hasn't gone unnoticed among the roster. And even if it's not being talked about publicly, Sapp also warned against overhyping the conversation online, noting that the internal chatter doesn't automatically equal drama. The fact that there has been no fines, there has been no penalties, there's been no suspensions, there's been no pink slips. She has not been having to give up the WWE Women's Championship or hand it over yet, should show you that she is still in good hands. But again, she is being watched under a microscope because all the injuries. Because, in the WWE, you're not in there to injure the other. You're in there to put on a show. You're in there to be entertained. And, of course, injuries are going to happen. Surgeries are going to happen. Bad things are going to happen in the middle of those ropes. Make no mistake about it, viewers. However, we move into another update that may just be as sad. Ladies and gentlemen, according to the dirt sheets, the websites, and the news, remember to hype, like, become a channel member today, and remember to donate below with a super thanks donation to help keep me on YouTube, because remember, without you, there is no show, and you guys are the foundation, the pulse. Kevin Owens has returned to WWE. There was a lot of rumor and gossip. Quite frankly, there was a lot of speculation that he was going to return at the WWE's Royal Rumble as a surprise entrant. And a lot of people were hyped about it. A lot of people were antsy about it. A lot of people were like, oh, we can't wait. The anticipation, the expectations. Kevin Owens, after over a year away, finally is going to wrestle. Finally going to be the former Universal Champion. But despite early signs of hope that he might return in time for Royal Rumble 2026, we have a very dramatic update and development on Kevin Owens. After suffering a serious neck injury in April of 2020, almost now 2 years now. We're going on 2 years. April of 2025, and again, Owens isn't getting any younger. He's getting older, so there's not much time left for Kevin Owens. Owens was pulled from WrestleMania, sidelining one of WWE's most consistent performers, one of the most talked about performers of this era, of this decade. While fans held optimism thanks to a short rehab training that Owens shared later that year, the momentum appears to have stalled, sadly and unfortunately. According to internal sources via Fightful Select, Owens didn't undergo surgery until July of 2025, months after the injury occurred. Since then, there's been no indication that he has resumed the full-time in-ring training, and WWE reportedly has no creative plans in motion for his return. Now, of course, this could be one of those instances where the WWE says, well, we're not going to put out a lot of information because we want it to be a shock. We want it to be a surprise. We want to catch everyone off guard. But it looks as if at this time that Kevin Owens will not be returning to WWE. Not only will he probably not be returning by WrestleMania, on the road to WrestleMania, he may not even be returning this year again at all. Again, the WWE is going to play this very safe because they know how valuable, they know just how much Kevin Owens brings to the game, and they don't want to rush anything significant. And of course, this is massive. This is huge. This is a big loss to the WWE, especially with AJ Styles retiring this year. John Cena just retired last year, a couple of months ago. As you can see, that this is not a good thing, viewers. The WWE needs name value. They need the strength. They need the momentum. And I'll tell you what, they cannot really lose somebody the caliber and the name of Kevin Owens. Again, he's only getting older. All right. At this stage, WWE is said to be taking a cautious, long-term approach with Owens, prioritizing his health over any timeline for a comeback. While Royal Rumble was once viewed as a possible target date, that now appears unlikely. The silence surrounding Owens' return isn't due to a lack of interest, but rather a mutual understanding that his eventual comeback will happen on his own terms, and only when he is fully ready. Neck injuries can alter careers. It can take out you forever, for good. You can end up in a wheelchair. You may never walk again. For now, the WWE is keeping the door open, but won't force it for Kevin Owens. Do you think the WWE should wait for Kevin Owens to return at 100%? Or would you like to see him involved in some way before he is cleared? Again, it all comes down to the dynamics of your thoughts, your comments, your opinions, and your feedback. So I guess the longer we wait, that much more impactful it is going to be. The roof is going to blow off. The pop is going to be insane for Kevin Owens, and that's the big thing, though. Kevin Owens left as a bad guy. He left as a heel. Is Kevin Owens going to return as a bad guy or as a heel? What will be the appeal? Your thoughts, your comments, your opinions, and your motives on KO Kevin Owens. Also coming through here on the Brash. Are you guys watching TNA Genesis tonight? What matches are you looking forward to? Also, a major star absent, gone off WWE television. Why and what is going on behind the scenes? Now, this superstar left AEW to come over to the WWE. He thought the grass was going to be greener. We thought he was going to get this monumental push. What is going on with this superstar? Aleister Black hasn't been seen on WWE television since his devastating ambulance match to Damian Priest several weeks ago on the Blue Brand of SmackDown. But now we know why. Is he going back to AEW? Has he had a falling out with the WWE? Well, according to PW Insider, as of January the 17th, which is today, Black's current absence is completely planned and meant to sell the violent nature of his match with Damian Priest. WWE officials intentionally pulled him off TV as part of the storyline fallout from SmackDown main event that ended with Black getting slammed through a windshield and tossed off an ambulance roof. The word going around is that Black may have been a little banged up coming out of the match, which wouldn't be surprising given the brutality stunts, but nothing serious enough to prevent him from appearing if the WWE wanted him back. The speculation, the feeling is that he will be back at the Royal Rumble extravaganza. And with that, we go into our next update. Our next headline, ladies and gentlemen. Will there be a title? Will there be a championship vacated in the WWE due to injury? This one is big. This one, viewers, quite frankly, is blockbuster. Is Stephanie McMahon about to vacate the WWE Women's title due to injury? As of this past week, ladies and gentlemen, Vickers' injury, a sprained ankle, was serious enough to require a walking boot, but not enough to take her off the table completely. However, will she have to relinquish the title? Because we all remember that whole 30-day, 60-day rule about defending your championship, your title. It was confirmed, in fact, that there were tentative creative plans for the next defense, which I mean, they're setting up an angle with Raquel Rodriguez. We see this on TV every week. But there has been no plan, shockingly, for Stephanie to vacate the championship at this time. Of course, the WWE will be playing a wait and see with this approach. Also, we are receiving word. Daria Ray's current in-ring status after her TNA debut on AMC. She may be taking over TNA's Wrestling Authority role on screen, but don't expect her to be taking any bumps soon, as again, she expected to stay as a TNA Wrestling Authority role on screen along Santino Marella, who almost won the Royal Rumble, the largest Royal Rumble in company history. Breaking news on former WWE Champion Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley's injury update points to a longer absence, which obviously, again, age is playing a factor for Bobby Lashley. He has a hell of a lot more time in the trenches than he does left in his career. But Bobby Lashley, luckily, is still in good shape. He's still in good spirits. But again, age does play a factor. It does play a motive. Also, ladies and gentlemen, coming in at this time, why AEW hasn't announced a follow-up to Fight Forever being exposed, revealed online. Also, Cody Rhodes reveals Travis Scott secretly gifted him shoes, okay, after busted eardrum injury. And did that make things good? Did that, put water underneath the bridge? Was that enough to salvage that? Well, it probably was enough to salvage the WWE Monday Night Raw theme song for Travis Scott. I can assure you that right now. The Rascals just made their debut on AEW following their departure from TNA Wrestling. Is Cody Rhodes about to win the Royal Rumble for a third unprecedented time? Is Cody Rhodes going to pull off a Stone Cold Steve Austin and win the Royal Rumble? Well, do you want to see Cody Rhodes win the Royal Rumble for a third year in a row and then go on to main event and headline WrestleMania, the showcase of immortals? CM Punk reveals his first kiss with AJ Lee was part of a WWE storyline. Also, Chelsea Green appears at the Chelsea FC match after SmackDown loss in London. AMC executives, what are their feelings, their thoughts, their opinions with TNA Impact premiere despite harsh criticism? Well, according to the dirt sheets, the websites, and the newsletters, the AMC executives were very happy with the TNA Impact premiere despite harsh criticism from fans online. Elena Black mocks haters with a savage clapback after backlash over her return to TNA Wrestling. How Bully Ray motivated the TNA locker room after the AMC debut. And CJ Perry says Vince McMahon and Johnny Ace personally rehearsed her Dolph Ziggler kiss scene. CJ Perry reveals the real reason why WWE abruptly dropped the Bobby Lashley love triangle storyline, which was absolutely heinous, ridiculous, and it was awful. At least we didn't see that thing go through. Vincent reveals the personal origins of the Righteous entrance theme. The Righteous officially signed with TNA Wrestling. A major coup for that company. WWE referee Lashani responds after fans demand her firing over the Elton Prince injury. TNA are eyeing Richard Holiday following GCW exit announcement. Also, the game, Triple H reveals why he joined the President's Fitness Council. And TNA champion Mike Santana addresses a potential move to World Wrestling Entertainment. Is that something that you would want to see? Is that something you would be into? It all boils down to each and every one of you here on the Unapologetic Sean V. Tim, because we realize without you, there is no Sean V. We prove it true. Now what we need is we need the algorithm. We need the push of a lifetime here on YouTube, but we cannot do it with the algorithm. We need it because of you. Like, hype, comment, share this video all over the entire internet so you don't forget that Sean V. Tim is your one-stop place for the latest, the hottest, the greatest, the newest, the most definitive, the most defiant. This is where you're going to get the performance. This is where you're going to get the enhancements. And this, quite frankly, is where you're going to get all the intangibles as it concerns all things professional Wrestling. Subscribe.